On the left is what my shoulders used to look like earlier this year. On the right is what my shoulders look like right now. This video you're looking at was taken in August of this year, and both videos have a post pump. Both are the same lighting, same room, same camera. And it's the progress I made as an advanced lifter, someone who's been training for 10 years now. And in this video, I'll walk you through the exercises that I did, the changes I incorporated, and everything that allowed me to blow up my shoulders in the past 8 months. My name is Mustafa. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, because your thing really helps me out. I'm qualified PT. I've studied personal training and sports therapy for 3 years, as well as been training myself for 10 years. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into it. First up, exercises. What you're here for. Let's get straight to it. This gonna sound really brain dead and simple, but stay with me. Shoulder press. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because most people have the notion that you should not do any front delt exercises if you're doing any pressing movements like a flat press or incline bench, because those movements already target your front delt, so it makes sense to use that volume towards rear delts or side delts, which is all good and well in theory. However, the thing is, the stimulation your frontal delts get from bench press and incline press, to be honest, isn't really that much, at least not enough to incorporate that much growth. And while also with the shoulder press, one factor that it has over any other shoulder exercise is that your shoulders are fully contracted. Something you don't get with lateral raises or upright rows or anything like that, because you go all the way up, your shoulders are squeezed, they're contracted, which is a movement. If you don't do shoulder press, that means you are training with your shoulders almost never being contracted, which is a huge factor to growth. Plus at the bottom, you get a very deep stretch. And the thing is also with shoulder press is the fact that I was watching a Jeff Nepard video recently, and he put some EMG sensors on his shoulders. Basically, those of you who don't know, EMG just means how much that muscle is being used for in layman's term. And he found that there's as much side delts while doing shoulder press as there was front delt activation, which is crazy when you look at it. And I'm not saying this is a concrete evidence, but it's just one thing to keep in mind when incorporating this exercise if you are against it. Now, on the topic of Jeff Nepard, I'm going to move on to my second point, which is the value of rear delts. I know, as I said, I do a lot of front delt work, but I find the front delts are very important to grow because if you think about it, let's say you're wearing a tank top or looking at someone like talking to them. It's the first part of your shoulder that they see. So it makes sense for that part to be the most grown. But rear delts, what they do is they give roundness to your shoulders. I mean, you've seen those guys, like those big bodybuilders that have like really big arms or really big shoulders, but they don't look that good. You can't put your finger on it, but they're missing that je ne sais quoi. And in my opinion, it's rear delts, because if this part is developed, it's still gonna look good. However, by developing your rear delt, not only does it improve your posture, but it also gives you that roundness, gives you that bolder look, regardless of the size that you have. And the best rear delt exercise is this variation of reverse flies. The logic behind it is that when you do a reverse fly like this on the machine, what happens is that your shoulder's range of motion is more than this. It goes from here, not here, but all the way to here. That's where the range of motion ends, which is the most stretched. So it makes sense, if you're doing reverse flies, to go all the way out and all the way in by going sideways on a reverse pec deck or with a cable. The issue with this is that you are now forced to do it one side at a time, which can take a while, especially if you're trying to cut your workouts time in half. But I would say it's still worth incorporating at least once a week. And maybe you can do some sort of reverse cable fly instead, if you feel like you just don't have time to fit that in, because you can do like 6 sets, 3 sets each side. Might take forever. But dude, rear delts, very valuable. I highly recommend you make it a big focus point, as well as maximizing the growth on your frontal delts by doing shoulder press. The 2 pieces of the puzzle. The third piece is your posture, by doing flexibility and mobility drills. When you have bad posture, so you work an office job, or you're always on your phone, your shoulders are always getting rolled forward, even slightly. And what that does, A, you look less round, B, it overstretches your delts, and the muscle stretch, it gets longer, and the longer muscle is a weaker muscle. But it's also the fact that you look narrower, because if I have good posture, like it's maybe bad posture, if I get good posture, I look wider all of a sudden, right? Because everything's getting more spread out. So it gives you the ability to look more muscular without actually putting on more muscle, which is very valuable, and all it takes like 1 month of consistent mobility and stretching for your shoulders, maybe a little bit of chest and rotator cuff, just to untighten that part. If you want like good mobility drills, a guy that I follow on YouTube, his name is Bodyweight Warrior. He does the best mobility stuff you can find. Just type Mobility Warrior shoulder mobility routine, and it'll be like the first one to come up. And number 4, this again, because I'm really obvious, but I feel the need to point it out because so many advanced lifters, including myself, do this mistake. And it's the fact that when you train shoulders, you don't increase the weights. What I mean by that is a lot of people would do like sort of upright rows, or they would do shoulder press, or like lateral raises. That's the main corporate of it, where they would stay with the same weight for years, between 10 kilogram to 15 kilogram. And the issue with that is that you try to get that tension by increasing the reps and volume, but your body can only handle so much volume for it becoming junk volume. And I feel you get comfortable doing that weight that's between 10 to 15 kilos because it looks good, you feel the burn, getting a nice pump, you look good, but you're not making much growth, because when you increase the weight in lateral raises, like a 1 kilogram increase on lateral raise is ridiculous. It feels like night and day difference. So guys will increase the weight, do like 5, 6 less reps even, and they get discouraged, and then they go back to their previous weights. And the way I see it, I would always try and increase the weights, and the first time I go with the heavy weights, naturally I'm doing less reps, but the form might not be as sharp, might be as good, but it's fine. I just keep doing it, and week by week I improve the form as well as improve the number of reps that I do, because my muscles aren't used to carrying that much weight in that position because I have increased it. So naturally it takes time for it to adapt, and this is where you mastering that form of the exercise is really important. Lateral raises is the worst one in the scenario when people make that mistake on the most, but you do it with so many other exercises. And that's it. It's just those 4 things, including shoulder press in your program, incorporating a lot of volume for your rear delts, a lot of tension, improving your posture and untightening your shoulders by doing mobility and flexibility stuff, as well as progressing on weights. Sorry, my brain really went blank there. If you do those 4 things for your shoulders, and I know some of them may sound obvious, but I find myself as an advanced lifter, a lot of the time I would incorporate these like new workout principles, these new exercises, think, yo, I'm gonna cook here with this plan, I'm gonna choose the game and I mess it up. But I end up forgetting a lot of foundations, a lot of like fundamentals that are essential to growth. So I think it's a good thing, no matter what fitness level you are, to go back, revisit them, make sure they're incorporated before adding new things or trying out new training methods. Now, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to put down in the comments down below. If you liked it, like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it really helps me out. And if you have any questions about anything in general, feel free to ask me. I'm a qualified PT, give some free advice. Be sure to take advantage of that. And I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.